Hey guys, this is No Solution. I'm Scott, and this is my contest entry for the Dreadful Minutes Identity Crisis. Rick from the Dreadful Minutes is celebrating 600 subscribers. Congratulations, Rick. You deserve them all and many more, in my opinion. Rick is probably the nicest guy in the Metal VC. So supportive of other channels, and I really appreciate it. When I just started my channel, and I don't even know how he found out about it, but he subscribed right away and shouted me out in a video, and I that was really awesome of him. And he does that for so many people. So just like to do this contest and support his channel. The little what little audience I have probably already watches Rick anyway, but just wanted to join in on the contest. So it's a pretty cool idea, and it's pretty open ended. Basically, Rick wants you to show as many records as you want that either connect to your name, your channel name, or just tells something about you. And so I settled on 10 here, and I kind of went all over the place. So let's just get started, I guess. The first one I picked was Judas Priest Painkiller. This is the reissue with that big annoying hype sticker that's right on the case there. I think you all know what Painkiller looks like, but so this, if you want to go with the name, the drummer Scott Travis, but really important album for me. This was actually, believe it or not, my first Judas Priest album, and the first concert I ever saw. My uncle was a big fan of Judas Priest from the early days, and I was 15 at the time, so not able to go by myself, but talked to my uncle about it, and he agreed to take me. So a really, really cool memory. Megadeth opened on, they were on Rust in Peace, and Judas Priest on Painkiller. Can't really ask for better than that for a first concert, and just an incredible album. Still influences many bands to this day. So that's my first one. My second one, probably one of my most listened to albums of my lifetime, Queensryche, Operation Mindcrime, and the drummer is Scott Rockenfield. This was my second concert. This was they were on the Empire tour, but they were doing the entire Mindcrime album live for the first time, and fantastic show. And yeah, I don't know, just a really influential kind of progressive metal album. I think to this day, probably one of the best concept albums. And unfortunately, Jeff Tate shit on it years later by making Mindcrime 2, which was an absolute abortion. But he can't ruin this, so Operation Mindcrime. Let's see. Next, reorder these a little bit. All right, I'll go with Ozzy Osbourne Tribute. This was the first Ozzy album I actually bought, and the song, oh, it's this annoying circular shit, but it's on there. Suicide Solution. To me, the definitive version of Suicide Solution with the guitar solo that was not on the studio version. Yeah, just another really important band for me as I was getting into metal. I kind of started with Metallica and then kind of went back and kind of discovered more of the classics like Judas Priest and Ozzy and Iron Maiden, and you get the idea. So my channel's No Solution, so Suicide Solution off of Tribute. All right. So this one is the song Permanent Solution from Paradise Lost. This is the single, and came off the album Host. So this is derisively known as the Depeche Mode years of Paradise Lost, where they went basically completely electronic. And this, beyond the channel name tie-in, this kind of illustrates me as a fan. If I'm in on a band, I'm in on a band. So they could not be more different from the first time I heard them, which was the Shades of God album. But I was still in. I still do enjoy this album. I understand why people didn't. It was the same members, but it could have been an entirely different band. But I still enjoy Host. I think it's gotten a little bit of a reappraisal over the years, but probably wasn't the smartest idea to go this route, but they got signed to a big label and I think had grand plans that didn't work out. All right, now we're kind of just kind of going off of things that are maybe important to me or tell something about me. Nuclear Assault, Handle with Care. This was the first band that I felt like I discovered on my own. I was into Metallica and Megadeth and, you know, kind of the things that you could go to the grocery store and find in the tape section. So I heard Nuclear Assault on a college radio show. They did like an interview and played a bunch of their music, and I was very enamored with it and felt like this was my band, you know. Obviously, they're not an underground band, but at the time, to me, they were. So I was all in on Nuclear Assault, got the cassette, sent away for a shirt and a hat, and, you know, I was, in my mind, the cool kid at school because I had a Nuclear Assault shirt and nobody even heard of them. Actually, I was just a dork with a shirt nobody cared about, but I thought it was cool. So Nuclear Assault, Handle with Care. Still love this album. Still love this band. They've had some missteps, obviously, but who hasn't? All right, so this is another illustration of the kind of dumbass collector I am. So Sepultura, this is the Slave New World single. I would buy all of these singles. If there was one live track on it that wasn't on an album, I had to have it. So I bought this off the KSAD album. I don't know if you can see the track list. There we go. So it's got 2 unreleased songs and a live version of Orgasmatron. But I don't know if you remember these. This is like a big digipack. You unfold it, and there's actually 2 slots. This, when I bought it, this slot was empty, and I was like, I didn't know. There was, sometimes it has a sticker on it that says part 2 available separately or something, but this one didn't. So I had this. Then maybe a year later, I went into a Best Buy. Our Best Buy had just opened, and they had this, just in a cardboard sleeve. So then that's when I figured out this was part 2 of that single that I had. And if you can see the sweet track listing on this, Slave New World from the album, of course, and then Desperate Cry Live. That is all that was on this. That was the big B-side. I freaking had to have it. I think I paid $9 for this, for one live version of Desperate Cry. But hey, it's complete now. And yeah. This is the kind of thing that, the kind of impulse I'm still fighting against. I'm doing better, but... So there's that. Okay, this is another thing that probably is not a very positive reflection on my character. But September 11th, 2001, I'm sure if you were alive, you know where you were and what was going on. That was a Tuesday. And if you remember, Tuesday used to be new release day for records, or CDs, actually, at the time. I woke up to go to the record store before I went to work, and I saw what was going on the TV, and I watched it for a little bit, and I was like, well, that's weird, and that really sucks, and, well, time to go to the record store, because this was coming out. My favorite band at the time, Dream Theater, Live Scenes from New York, and if you can see, this is kind of the ill-fated cover with the, if you don't know, they had, like, a logo with a flaming heart with barbed wire around it. So for this, they changed it to a flaming apple, and then the skyline of New York is in flames. So obviously they recalled that and changed it, but since I was the sicko who, when the towers were coming down, went to the record store because nothing was going to mess with my routine, I got this version. I remember I got to the store, it was a store I went to every week, and they had a little TV out on the counter when we were watching what was going on, and they were just kind of like, looked at me like, okay, dude, you're here for your Dream Theater, and Slayer, God Hates Us All, to come out that day, so I wanted to get that too. So, yeah, I'm a little bit selfish and in my own head at times like that, but that's part of me. All right, we'll go with this one, I guess. I'm always late to everything. You know, whenever a new trend is starting or a new movement, I'm always like a couple years behind. You know, black metal I didn't get into till like the late '90s. Death metal I was more like '94-ish, when a lot of people say it was already dead. But in 1996, I bought this, the Amon Amarth debut EP, Sorrow Throughout the Nine Worlds. It came out in 1996. All I knew about this was that it had a cool cover, and there was a little sticker on it from the store I bought it from that said it was produced by Peter Taggarton of Hypocrisy fame, and I was a big Hypocrisy fan. I was like, oh, that looks cool. I don't know. I'll check it out. So I can say with one band I was in on the ground floor of Amon Amarth. Not maybe something to be that proud of right now, but they were my band for quite some time. When the first full length came out, I may be one of the few people who was actually excited and anticipating it. So, kind of a cool little thing. I still have it. It's been re-released on various other things, but this is the OG. Okay, and then we've got a little bit of a controversy, probably. Nocturnal Mortem, Goat Horns. The debut, I think, considered to be the debut full-length. Lunar Poetry before this, I think, is considered a demo. I had applied online to write reviews for a short-lived magazine called Juggernaut. So I started getting promos. I got a promo package from The End Records, which had just started up at the time. And this was their third release. Maybe the OG CD pressing. It originally came out on a cassette. Nuclear Blast put this out in Europe, also in 1998, but I'm not sure which one was first. I couldn't really find a definite date on it, but really important album for me. Really kind of got me into checking out more underground bands, and I hadn't really heard this kind of pagan black metal before, and it was just a fantastic listen. Not something I thought I would like when I got it, but yeah, and I'm a lifelong fan of this band still to this day. So Nocturnal Mortem, Goat Horns, for my short-lived writing career. Career meaning I got some free promo CDs. But and the last one, of course, I got to show some Marillion. So this is Marillion and Arachnophobia. This was the first new release Marillion album to come out from after I'd become a fan. This was the first new release. Love it. Fantastic album. And why I chose it, or why I chose this one, is because this is where my channel name comes from. From the song When I Meet, or no, I'm sorry, not, jeez. What a dope. Yeah, from the song When I Meet God. I don't know why I doubted myself. It's such an important song to me, and then I sometimes I get in front of the camera and my brain shuts off. My apologies. So I'll just read the opening lyrics to that, so you know what it came from. And I felt like this at the time. I do not feel like this now, but you know, my mid-20s, kind of like, you know, what's going on? What's my life going to be? Where am I going? So the beginning starts, if the bottle's no solution, why does it feel so warm? And if that girl is no solution, why did she feel so warm? And if to feel is no solution, why do I feel? Why do I feel so tired? Why do I feel so broken? Why do I feel so outside? Why do I seem so blind? I'm so sick of feeling. It's ruined my life. And then continues on with, if such and such is no solution. Reading that without the music, geez, I was a really whiny little bitch. But, you know, we've all felt that way. So that is where my channel name comes from. And those are my 10 records. So, Rick, congratulations again. I hope you enjoy this video, maybe learned a little more about me. And thanks a lot for watching. And as always, CM Punk is a piss baby. Later.